Good afternoon, you're watching Newsfeed. I'm Maricar Bautista. A huge part of land in Carasi, Ilocos Norte is affected by a grass fire that started on Thursday. According to the Office of Civil Defense, 287 hectares of land in Barangay Barbaquezo were impacted. This includes 50 hectares that are part of the DENR's National Greening Program. Authorities quickly worked to contain the fire, conducting heli-bucket operations as part of the firefighting efforts. The Bureau of Fire Protection Ilocos Norte says the fire was extinguished on Friday, but the cause is still under investigation. Local disaster officials continue to closely monitor the situation to prevent any possible recurrence. For the past few months, massive fires have hit Isla Puting Bato in Tondo, considered as Manila's biggest slum area. Thousands of residents who lost their homes insist on staying. Find out why in this special report by Francis Volve and Agatha Gregorio.
Agatha, have you heard of the recent fire incidents in Manila, particularly the one in Isla Puting Bato?
Yes, Francis. In fact, I heard there were several that happened one after another with thousands of families affected.
Yes, and despite the tragedy, many of the settlers still refuse to relocate.
That's why the government's help is particularly important. But why are there still residents on the island despite these consecutive tragedies?
Residents of Isla Puting Bato in Tondo, Manila are beginning to recover after the most recent fire on January 23, which broke out in early hours of the morning. The blaze reached the fifth alarm and destroyed around 30 houses in Purok 5. Authorities reported that the fire was caused by an overheated appliance in a two-story house. One of the affected residents, Nanay Mila, is among the 90 families left homeless by the fire. Originally from Cebu, she moved to Isla Puting Bato nearly 3 decades ago in search of a better life. However, the new year started on a tragic note for her. First, she lost her husband, and now she has lost her home. She also started experiencing health issues after the incident.
Nahihilo ako lagi. Tapos ang daming umano sa akin. Mula pagkasunog po, dahil sa nervyos siguro to eh. Ang daming lumalabas sa akin ng ano. Tapos bigla ko nahihingal po.
For Nanay Mila, the physical distance between Isla Puting Bato and the bright towering buildings of the city across the sea symbolizes the vast gap between the rich and the urban poor.
Ayun nga, gusto namin po. Wala man tayong magawa. Wala tayong pera pang ano dyan. Opa. Dahil hirap man tayo.
Poverty also drove Elena Kaliwan and her family to settle in Isla Puting Bato. As long as they could make a living from the sea, surviving daily life seemed manageable. But the fire left them with almost nothing. Only their generator and their son's fishing boat. Even the small garlic selling business they relied on was reduced to ashes. Despite losing their home, they refused to leave the area. They now sleep on wooden planks beside the remains of the burned house. Thankfully, help from the local government and generous individuals allowed them to buy materials to start rebuilding their home and provided them with food supplies.
Yung binigay sa amin ng konting tulong, iyan po napatayo namin para na sa ganun, meron kami matulugang 4 na pamilya. Siyempre po, hindi ho namin akalain na ganun ang mangyayari. Nabigla kami, tapos nawala yung aming bahay, tapos hindi ho nakapag-aral ng mga anak ko ngayon kasi lahat ng gamit nila sa school nasunog.
Before 2024 ended, another massive fire struck a different part of Isla Puting Bato. On November 24, 2024, a fire engulfed 1,000 houses, affecting more than 2,000 families. According to Mimi Doringo, an urban poor leader, fires are one of the ways residents are pressured to leave the area.
Maraming nagaganap na mga pag-o-offer, no? Sinasabing may mga proyekto ang pamahalaan na itatayo sa komunidad, may mga sinasabing o-opera yung mga yung tao ng pera, 60,000 daw po o pabahay sa Montalban, yun ang ino-offer sa mga taga-Isla Puting Bato. At syempre, yung ginagawa po madalas na mga nagigiit na makuha yung lupa na tinitirhan ng mga residente ng komunidad, ay lagana po yung ginagawang panununog sa komunidad. Una kasi, kinakausap yung mga tao. Pag tumindig para sa kanyang karapatan, nandiyan po yung mga harassment, pananakot, no? Minsan nga, kinakasuhan pa yung mga leaders. At pag hindi pa rin po sila natinag, tumitindig pa rin sila, ang kasunod na po na ginagawa, taktika po ito ay panununog sa kanilang community.
However, Mayor Hani Lacuna's engagement with the residents of Isla Puting Bato has provided some assurance. She promised that no one will be forced to leave until proper housing and livelihood opportunities are secured for those affected.
For over a decade, the relocation plan for residents of Isla Puting Bato stayed just that, a plan awaiting execution. But this was signed in 2019, igniting hope that residents would finally have a permanent home. But the Office of the Manila Mayor spokesperson Princess Abante says funding has yet to materialize.
So, as it is, hindi pa rin sila magbibigyan ng permanent housing doon, and hindi rin naman natin sila basta pwedeng paalisin doon without any relocation. Ang problema din sa relocation, a lot of our informal settlers, kahit mabigyan sila ng mga relocation, they still go back doon sa area kasi yun yung kanilang source of income.
According to the Urban Development and Housing Act of 1992, adequate housing, whether permanent or temporary, is needed before evicting the homeless or underprivileged. Abante says the Philippine Ports Authority allotted land for the relocation project done with the National Housing Authority and city government. Senator Cynthia Villar attended the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, but Villar refused to comment on the possibility of relocation following the fires. For now, the local government is only able to provide financial assistance. Abante says 800 families affected by the fire in November have received 30,000 pesos each. Over 1,000 families await the financial aid.
Agatha, the residents I spoke with pointed out who wouldn't want a safe community if only the government would help. But they also say the government should not just make sure they have an adequate housing, but also there should be a livelihood opportunity for them.
Francis, the Office of the Manila Mayor clarified that these residents will not be driven away because the housing program will be done on Isla Puting Bato itself. And the LGU continues to coordinate with the national government to make sure this pushes through. But no news yet on where the residents will temporarily stay as the housing program is being done. I'm Agatha Gregorio.
And I'm Francis Polbe
For the Billionaire News Channel.
Vivid colors and upbeat music in a grand parade signaled the official start of Baguio's annual Flower Festival. On Saturday, students, youth, and professionals joined the seemingly unending spectacle of costume participants kicking off the 29th Panagbenga, a tradition began in 1995. The parade showcased the city's floral treasures as Panagbenga is Kankanauy for Season of Blooming. Most events in the celebrations calendar revolve on the theme of flowers and blossoms beyond boundaries. While institutions such as the Philippine Military Academy and the Baguio Country Club made sure to have their annual events coincide with Panagbenga. Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong joined the street revelers and noted that the festival has come to mean something more.
We have faced difficulties, yet we stand tall, adapting to the various forms of change that were inevitable while staying deeply rooted in our identity. Panagbenga has evolved into more than just a festival. It has become a movement, a symbol of Baguio's enduring spirit, whose beautiful and rich culture, the warmth of the locals, and the time-honored traditions are meant to be shared beyond our borders.
The Grand Street Dancing and Grand Floral Float parades will be on February 22 and 23, while the closing and awarding ceremonies, highlighted by a grand aerial fireworks display, will be on March 2. And those are the news at this hour. I'm Maricar Bautista. Catch Weekend Agenda with George Cahiles later at 5:30 p.m. Stay tuned to Billionaire News Channel on Free TV Channel 31, Channel 24 on Cignal, Channel 74 on Converge, and on our website bnc.ph. Thanks for watching.